There we go. There we go. Okay, so something was in the background. There we go. Okay, so something was in the background. And I hear myself echoing. That's no good. Well, let's see if there's a video playing. I'm gonna have to cut that video off. And I hear myself. Oh, okay. Okay, so that's just me. Okay. Okay, perfect. So, guess that's all right now. So if I ever hear any issues, let's take a look of OBS to see if there's anything active. Because hopefully there's not the sound capturing card is, or what is it? The camera isn't capturing the audio. Now if it is, I'll have to cut the audio off from the cam. So yep. Now if you hear any echoes on my end, so that said, yeah, if you hear a little bit of echoing, I do apologize. It I don't know, like it will only work if I were to cut off a browser, anything off my end. So yeah, it is kind of funny where this is this is going from here. So, but anyways, I try not to let that distract me. I'm just gonna just mute the video preview. Yeah, so yeah. Okay, so I may have to end up starting over since yeah. So it looks like for some odd reason that's this is not the first time this has happened as far as the audio at the way it's acting up. I don't know why. For some reason, the way it's acting. So I, like I said, I do apologize. It could be it's just something I strained the computer because the PC. But again, I have to work on that at some point. But I'll figure a way to do it too. But for the meantime, I'm not gonna try to do too much gaming because at this point the graphics card is now close to. Actually, yeah, it is. It's gonna be that time of year, so it's already 4 years old. The graphics card, and I'm not gonna be putting too much strain on it. So, because even with now with future games, it's already not too. It's really not too good to stream any games because it's about time to make it upgrade to this computer. So which this graphics card and the rest of the computer has had its days. So I'm not gonna put no more stress into it. So with that further said, yeah. So I even, especially for me, I even forgot to let all my people know that when I'm gonna be streaming. In fact, quite of a bad habit. I don't post it on Twitter that when I'm live. All right, and that's good. So since the audio is okay, and like just like I mentioned before, I won't, like I said, I won't worry about the audio for too much. But this for at this point, I may as well just stick where I have right here. But anyways, before I before I go on talking about my subject here, let me just go ahead and yeah, let me just go ahead and say is that if you guys like the podcast that I'm doing and things I'm doing on a weekly basis, uh, go ahead and hit the follow button on Twitter. Now I'm on Mastodon. Uh, and actually, I'm gonna have to put my Instagram on down down the bios and description below, so you guys can see. So you guys can follow me down below. But yeah, I forgot to post that on my bio page underneath. So which the about me needs to be updated since it's now been 2 years old. So gotta update. You gotta start making some updates. So which is fine. Gonna have to do it. So let's go back on reading the article here. On C like yeah, so back on CNET. So I'm gonna have to start all over since the audio was giving me some issues. Uh, getting capturing my voice. So for that odd reason. So going back over here, it shows Huawei could beat Samsung to world's first foldable phone. Chinese phone manufacturer Huawei may be gunning for the first world's first foldable phone, world's first foldable smartphone. The company reported plans to announce its foldable phone in November this year, according to Korean news outlet ET News via Phone Arena. So, so this is a big. So this is big right there. And the only reason I'm bringing up the foldable phones again, it just before I even continue, why I'm just mentioning it in again because I actually know somebody that that I've actually spoke with early today, and he's mentioned about the phones and which I thought. Well, the thing is though, I've been away with the mobile trends for some time, and I figured this would be a good time to talk about mobile phones since now it's coming up to that point where you're gonna see innovations again with the smartphones. So it's not just the standard brick size smartphone that we're used to. So it's gonna be quite of a different show that um, we're used to seeing already since we've seen that so many times because we've seen phones being from small phones to big phones, and now we're gonna see phones that are gonna be foldable. So that's pretty interesting, seeing where we're heading to right as of now. So anyways, you always gotta check on my chat, see if anyone's if anyone said anything on chat. So okay, so continue on. The concept of a folding smartphone that could double a device's screen real estate while keeping its footprint relatively small sounds familiar. That's because electronics giant Samsung has been rumored to be working on the idea for the past few years. Samsung Mobile president DJ Khan has even gone on the record to talk about the company's plans for a foldable Galaxy phone, and has previously told reporters to expect a folding phone as early as this year. But according to ET News report, Huawei is hoping to beat its competitor. Huawei, the world's third largest third largest home phone maker, surely needs to win against Samsung, the largest in total sales volume. Blowback from the U.S. government over security concerns with Huawei products, and which actually that was something that was talked about too, which I remembered. Especially its networking infrastructure equipment has caused U.S. carriers as well as major retailer Best Buy to yank their support. Australia blocked Huawei from working on its national broadband network. The company says that despite the turmoil, it has earned the trust of our partners across the global value chain, according to Huawei spokesperson. So, for Huawei, a foldable phone when presents more than just a fresh frontier in the stack industry. It represents the opportunity to beat out the world's top players even without the support of all important U.S. markets. Now, and that's one thing I wanted to find out with how they're gonna work work with this. So, because it's since they really can't really work with the U.S. Well, and also I want to know how buyers are gonna get their hands on the first foldable phone, which that's what I'm curious, which I'd love to see where this is gonna go. As far as the foldable phones, I'd love to I'd love to find out a little bit more where they're gonna go. All all that would be something I'd love to find out, which I think it'd be perfect to see Huawei's gonna be now. If Huawei does become the first foldable phone or first manufacturer to do the foldable phones, I think it'd be nice. I mean, at least that's gonna be competition. Great beatdown competition between Samsung. So let's see. So I will continue with the article because I'm close to the end of the article, which I'll go ahead and continue reading. Technically, we've already seen a modern folding phone, but not one that folds in on itself in late 2017. ZTE released the Axon M, which has two screens and opens like a book to create the illusion of one extra large screen. But the key distinction between the Axon M and the Huawei and Samsung concepts lie in the phone's folding screen. Samsung's folding phone is expected to use its flexible OLED display tech. Meanwhile, Huawei will reportedly use flexible screens from LG Display, according to ET News. This would theoretically allow the phone and its screen to fold outward or inward on itself, unlike the Axon M, which relies on two separate rigging screens and a hinge. So, and just going back over here, now that's what I've actually I want to know too, because I remember I remember when you've used the phone back then. Now I'm gonna need to get a little bit of light. Boom, there we go. I believe you guys can see me okay. So I might have to put the upper light to for you guys to see me there. Now that's one thing I'd like to find out right there, Rich. I know that that's one thing I'm a little worried if I get a phone, will it have the hinges, and if that's the case, will I have to worry about these issues? Because I remember many years ago, I remember having the original, which by the way I still have the original DS in my closet somewhere, and I remember that the hinges snapped, and now that's one thing I'm a little concerned how that's gonna work, and do I have to worry about the foldable phone and the hinges breaking apart? Because that's one thing I'd like to find out too. Because now that's one of my concerns. Because if there's going to be any issues opening up the phone, because many times when you open it back and forth, the hinges will wear out itself, and that's how it goes with these devices. And so that's why I would never want to buy a first generation product, never of a first generation product, but I'd like to see where a product is going to go, so, and how things are going to be for sure. So that's why. But now, if you, I don't know if there's anyone out there that are testing the phone or have the Huawei or the Samsung foldable phone, because the I heard that there was actually creators like Marky Brown, a few others that have the phone. I know the Jerry Rig. Heard some stuff about Jerry Rig that has the phone, so I'm sure he's gonna end up opening up the phone, taking a look in the inside of what the phone's gonna look like, on the inside how the foldable phone was built. Everything I like. Actually, I like opening up phones and seeing the components of the phones, which I like. I like that it's interesting. Which I like when they tear up a phone and inspect every nook and cranny of how this was made from the company. So yeah, they now for me, however, as a consumer and someone that is interested in mobility, I don't know how that's gonna be when this comes out. Now I it's most obviously that's going to be a first generation phone. Uh, Now I would not get a first generation phone myself. That's just me. For me, I just don't want to go ahead and purchase a phone, and and have the hinges break on me if anything were to happen to a first gen, because I don't like generation products, even if it's from a highly well named brand like Samsung or Huawei for that matter. Like Huawei, which is a Chinese brand, and I'm sure that Samsung has a good reputation too as well. But if I was me, I'd wait for like second generation or third generation to come out with a phone. Now, if it comes out to be better, and then also I will expect that these with phones being out in the market, I know that these phones are gonna have how should I put it, like have 5G network. It's gonna have Wi-Fi. It's gonna have all that beautiful, all these beautiful little uh features. It's gonna be great, sure. But then one thing I wouldn't I really don't care. For me, like to me, I've actually had phones in the past, like especially first one for there was a first generation phone I've had, which was the first Android phone, which was from or was it TCH? No, HTC. Yeah, HTC. This was a brand new phone from the market, and I remember this was actually the first Android operating system, first generation phone from HTC, built in on Android, which was a 1.0, and which has the basic camera, the applications, and I actually still remember the phone to that day, and how it's and how it looks for sure. I mean, it's been a while, but I do remember it. But for me, just going back and see myself, getting myself into first generation phones, I always learn that you would never want to go for anything that is fresh out in the market. You always want to wait, because there's always going to be better devices out there that they're always going to be improving every single year, and even the fact there's going to be what I remember. I was talking to a Twitch streamer, which and and I remember that there's going to be other companies that will jump into the bandwagon, and that will copy the same ideas, the same concept, which he said that Apple may end up looking into the idea, which I'm sure they're going to end up doing it. Which, Apple wants an opportunity. If they see something which is hot, they will build it, they will sell it out to the market, and people will buy it, even if it's a huge name brand like Apple. That's how they want to do it, because they really want that money, which right now Apple is generated I think reportedly in the market, which is a $1.1 trillion company now, what I heard statistically. So, but anyways, we had a conversation about this from a Twitch streamer, so you could check him out. His name is Mudblock X. So yeah, so you check his stream out. He does Bloodborne stream, other video game streams and asks me anything. So he's really chill. He is from Germany, so definitely recommend him. And if you guys like to follow, go ahead and follow him there. So by all means. But overall, I don't know. I know I don't have too much to say about the phones itself, like the even the concept of the phone. I think it's just a very miraculous way that they're doing what these phone companies are doing, and I could see that they really want innovation. And now I'd say that with even after 2019, like even the future of the phones, like once we hit 20 in the 2020s, we're gonna see more innovations coming into the smartphones. Something that I could definitely see that happening moving forward. But however, I'd like to know what you guys think about the future of phones. Does this interest you, and what it is that you like about it too? Now, my concern for me is that I personally like the phone that I got, and this is a phone that I recently got over at in Europe, in actually in Berlin, and something I purchased there because I need bigger internal space, and also along with that I already have a expandable 64 gigabyte of storage that I could place right there on the side of the phone, which works even great. Don't have to worry. So I have enough. I really have enough external storage space for mobile gaming, which I do here and there. So, and also to use it for applications that I would need. Get in touch with fans. I use it for financing. I use it for language learning. All that right there on my phone, which is in the which what my friend calls it the tip of your fingertips, which that's really what a lot of people are doing now for for mobile phones, and which I know a lot of times they still do things directly on the desktop, but if you're on the go and if you're on the train, I think going through um, learning applications on your phone, which is a great way to get your noggin going, and it keeps you thinking. You know, if you have that installed when you're on the go, I know Khan Academy is a great application, which I personally like on the phone. Now I don't have it installed. I've had it installed in the past, but for space reasons, I had to delete that off the phone. But no, since I will be looking into finishing up class assignments and my in school, probably I will use that for certain applications for learning or for traveling, which I know I will continue to be using mobile phones from that. But anyways, I'm going off a tangent right here, so I'm going a little bit further than the topic right here. But so anyways, just to close this podcast on a footnote right there, since it is a live podcast, so I definitely want to go ahead and close the topic right here. So yeah, so that's a new bright year for smartphones, which is going to be foldable. But but now I know later on my live shows I will be talking about pretty much the future of wireless signals, 5G, which is going to be a topic I will talk about, robotics, and which to me I like to talk about different things on the tech sectors. I know my favorites, it's going to be manufacturer hardware, which is an interesting tech sector. I will talk about it too, in mobility, which to me I don't like to be stuck in one particular topic, because there's a lot of things to talk about. Now, the only thing I will end up avoiding, which is software. Which is something I don't talk about too much, but if there's anything that comes up in the news, I will talk about hardware, which I like, or software, excuse me, which I will talk about software. If anything comes up, I will talk about it. But hardware and mobility will be one of my main topics for the show, which I will talk about extensively, mainly on my main show too, and in which on my off in my off days, even when I'm recording offline, I will talk about the same subjects on my podcast, which is on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, so on and so forth too. And now we'll go ahead and post up the website so you guys can see the main website that I do publish my podcasts. In fact, let me just post it right here. There we go. So that further said, so take a look at the link for the podcast, and also that's where you could find my show right there. But without a doubt, so would like to say to everyone that is watching right now, thanks for coming in, stopping by, checking out the podcast for the first time. Now, if you like what you see, hit the follow button on the top and hit the button on the hearts if you like the show or like the comments what I have to say about on today's topic. But if there's any other topics you'd like to talk about, hit me up on Twitter. I'm always available, and you can just follow me from here. But that further said, thank you so much, guys, for checking my podcast, and I pretty much appreciate all your time for taking the watch. So that further said, you guys have a great rest of the evening. Bye for now.